Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It is live Q&A day with Shakeya of Silaholics Anonymous. So let's go over here and good. Almost played that backward. Play that again. Let's go ahead and share this out. Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Let's see. All right, just sharing it out. Hello, hello. As you guys come in, hit that thumbs up, hit that heart. If you are new here, hit the wow emoji or reaction. Drop a line. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Let me know that this is your first time watching. Hello, hello, and good morning. What am I going to do now? Oh, yeah, there we go. Make sure that you guys also hit that share button. If you can safely share to a silhouette group, a sublimation group, a cricket group, go ahead and hit that share button, okay? Also, if you guys have some really great groups that you are part of, our viewers may want to know where are some helpful groups besides Silaholics Anonymous. I know that I frequent a lot of different groups to kind of go in there and help. So if you guys want, you can also drop some of your favorite groups in the comments that will help someone else. Make sure you post exactly what it's for. So if it's for cricket help, if it's for business help, if it's for silhouette help, for sublimation, for card making, for tumblers, hey, it might be a group for vegans. Whatever your favorite group is, go ahead and drop that in the comments. Paper crafting is another good one. It would be nice to have some paper crafters on the live and see what questions they have. Because most times like now, I guess I always say it's not trending because sublimation has been around for so long, but I feel like I get a lot more people who are interested in sublimation who are kind of on the live, but it would be good to kind of get some paper crafters. It would be good to get some paper crafters on the live and see what questions they have. All right, so I think we're all shared out. Ingredients from New Orleans. Well, hello, Miss Yvonne. How are you? Hello, Pat. Good morning. George Brown over on YouTube. Hello, our faithful subscriber, Lamont. Hey, how are you? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ooh, my nose. Ooh. All right. So I'll go ahead and start my little spiel here. Good morning, everybody. Once again, I am Shakeya. My company is called Silaholics Anonymous, and we've just recently added an addition to that business, which is Honestly Speaking. You guys will hear more about that, but I do all things Silhouette Studio. So, I do all things, but that's not the only thing that I teach. I teach other different things as well, but my main thing, hence the name of the business, Silaholics Anonymous, is to teach you guys how to use Silhouette Studio for your crafting needs, for your business needs. If it's just personal, you want to make gifts for your family and just kind of use the machine. So I teach you more so how to use the program. And for me, the machine is kind of secondary, because once you know the program, you're sending it. Now those prints, those cut settings can be a little funky, but that is the easy part compared to learning the program. So my ultimate goal with these tutorials, with my live videos, my Q&As, is to help you guys master Silhouette Studio. I also have classes and things like that available, but we will talk about that later, because I want to get into these questions that you guys have for me. Be sure to hit the thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Hit the like button. Also, don't forget, either now, right after the broadcast, make sure if you don't like and follow Silaholics Anonymous on Facebook that you do so, as well as subscribe and hit the bell on YouTube for Silaholics Anonymous and Elite Prints and Creations with a K. All right. So I do these Q&As weekly on Wednesday around like 10:15, 10:30, somewhere there. I'll hit go live. And during these Q&As, you guys can ask me, any type of question if I have time. Well, my goal is to try and get in as many. So it's not necessarily a class. The answers may move a little bit faster, and you'll have to go back and rewatch it, because I try to get in as many questions as possible. But you guys can ask me pretty much anything, whether it's related to Epson printers, sublimation, paper crafting, event stuff, Silhouette Studio, anything like that. This is kind of an open Q&A. All right. Ooh, Craft Passion Face Mask Support Group. Okay, that's a good one. Ooh, and there's another one. Teach Me How, templates for notebooks. Thank you guys for those. I'm guessing that's a group. Or are you asking me to teach you how to do notebooks? Sandra says, I'm a paper crafter, but moving faster to sublimation. Chriselle Brown says, I need help with all over t-shirts. Well, what type of help are you needing? What stage are you in when it comes to that? We're not necessarily teaching like all over shirts. There's so much more to all over shirts, but the next session of our boot camp, which starts next Tuesday, so it's Tuesday and Thursday at 5:30 p.m., we are going over oversized design. So you're going to learn how to do it. I feel like if you just do shirts, now there are a lot of people that offer classes just for shirts. It fills up fast because he only has limited seats, but Mr. Main over in the sublimation group has one for all over shirts. And then there's another, I can't remember the name of the group. They have a dedicated group. But in my boot camp, there's so much more that you can do. And that is my goal with the next session of oversized printing and tiling. So you can visit the website to sign up for the boot camp, but the same concepts will apply. The only thing that's going to be different is how to create your template for it, which I did a class last session. Day 2 of last session was on how to create templates, but I am going to show you guys really quickly, like one shirt as far as taking that picture and creating the template. But then we will see how to do the designs and how to tile it, not just for shirts, but for anything. Maybe you're doing a big throw blanket. I just got yesterday a 20 panel, what's that thing called? Throw blanket. So there are so many things that you can use oversized techniques in tiling for other than all over shirts. And that is the goal of session 2 for the boot camp. So make sure you guys visit shop.silaholics Anonymous for more information on that. Let's see. I want to get another printer for pigment ink. Do you have any recommendations on printers? Well, the Epson 7720, hey, you guys know that is my favorite. Like, I love that thing. You can use it for sublimation. You can use pigment inks. Because I've always wondered, and I guess now they've created a water-based eco solvent, so it's not the harsh solvent one. And they just created, or I see there's now on the market an eco solvent, water-based eco solvent ink that I'm definitely going to look into. But I now have to try and find another 7720 because I can't use any of my babies. So I have to find another printer to be able to use that eco solvent in, and that will be a game changer because I like printing on vinyl. It'll make it so much easier for my yard signs. Oh my gosh. But yeah, the Epsom ones is they're slowly coming back. I see a lot of people posting that Sam's has the eco tanks. I mean, before you couldn't find any of them. So they are slowly coming back. I do see new people get 7720s. You have to catch them. HP's their office jets are also pigment, but they're not refillable cartridges, but they do have the instant ink program. But for the wide format one, unfortunately, they don't have the instant ink program, but it is pigment ink. If you ever want to know if your ink that you are using in your printer is pigment ink, wet it. If it does not run, it's pigment ink. If it runs, it's dye ink. Okay. On one of your live sessions, you were talking about a chip to put on the Epson 7720 to know when you add new ink to the cartridge. Where do I go to purchase? Oh, so it's called a chip resetter. You can go to my website. The link is in the description, but silaholics.anonymous.com. Shop.silaholics.anonymous.com. And let me go ahead and add that ticker to the bottom, and you'll see it there at the bottom. All right. Let's see. I don't see the rest of your question, Katrina Davis. I really need help with but I don't see the rest of it. How much is one class? Well, originally my boot camps were set up for the full session. So it's like, well, the full boot camp, it's 3 months, it's $75 per month. You get two-day sessions per month, and then exclusive videos within the group. So that's the only way that you get access to the group is to join the boot camp. So you get access to that, as well as access to templates and all that kind of good jazz. And now I am going to open up each session. So someone has asked about that. They feel like they don't need the whole thing. They kind of just want individual sections of it. So that will go up on the site. It will be, although I think I've already actually created it on the Academy one, but it will definitely be up before next week's session. So now if you want to take each individual session, so it's a 2-day session for sublimation, the cost will be $42 if you want to take an individual section, but you will not have access to the premium group. So you will only have access to the actual class, not the group. So Yvonne says, I'm an all-around crafter. Card making is one of my joys. I'm about to start sublimation, and I can't wait until I get all of my supplies. I can't wait either. Can't wait to see what you come up with once you get all of your supplies. When is the next boot camp? So it's running now. With all of my classes, all of my boot camps, you get access to the playbacks. So you've only missed one session. So if you decide you want to join now, you've only missed one session, which was the Essentials to Silhouette Studio, but the playback is available. If you take the full boot camp, you do have access to the group where you can ask questions in real time, but you can always ask a question on the courses site under discussions for that particular topic. You can ask questions there, but you always have access to the playbacks. I have conveniently broken the playbacks up into individual sections, so you don't have to go and like cipher through 3 hours of information. They're broken up based off of like when I stop. Every time I stop for a quick Q&A, I stop the recording and then I start a new one. So it's broken up for you guys. So it's going on now. As far as when the entire thing will repeat again live, it probably won't be for another 6 or 7 months because I have some other boot camps. It's just me right now as an instructor. So I have other ones that will come up, but the playbacks will always be available if you miss this one. So it runs until November, till the end of November. So let's say December you want to join. That's when you are able to. You will just have access to the playbacks, but you will feel like you are live. You're just, not able to ask questions in real time. Good morning. Have you made phone grips? If so, how do I design it to fit? I'm actually about to do that today. Box from Sublimation Blanks and More, and some phone grips were in there. So I do plan to do those today, and just kind of setting that up. And I'm going to do the air fresheners as well. So I'm going to do that today. So I'm going to measure it, and I will go live for that part just to kind of measure it. And you just have, for that one, it's a circle. So once you measure your circle and you're doing your design, it's a matter of using modify and crop to crop that down. What is a good paper to get until November 1st? Just got my printer, but I want to get started using it. I recommend the Johnson Plastics Plus paper. You also will get 15% off if you use my code. The code is 9PKD6. Oh, hold on one second. All right, so there that is, jpplus.com. The code is 9PKD6. That will get you 15% off. So Johnson's Plastics, with that one, I do find that I have to go, it's a thicker paper. So I do find that for my presses, like to get full release, it's about 65, 67 seconds for that one. And you also have like we have a sublimation sample pack, sublimation paper. It's 3 sheets of 8.5 by 11. So you'll get to try a wide variety of papers to find out which one will work best for you. As of right now, the Honestly Speaking paper is not in that one. We're still waiting for the sample packs to come in. And once those are in, they will be added to the sample pack. So you'll get 3 sheets of that to kind of start off with, along with some other ones. In that sample pack, we have all 3 A subs, Text Print, Jet Coal, and Johnson's Plastics Plus. Oh, and Stone City. So you'll be able to try a variety of papers to see which one best fits your needs, because I am, although we are a paper company and, we sell paper now, if you're doing this for a business, honey, you have to have more than one resource. When we were looking for supplies, we have made sure that we have 2 places that we can get like our boxes, our tape, and things like that for, just in case something happens with one, you have a backup. When it comes to shirts, I have Jiffy. I may go to Florida Flex. I may go to TSD. I may go to a couple different places for shirts. When you're running a business, you want to have more than one source. When you aren't the one manufacturing it and you're just buying it, it's retail for business. It's wholesale, but you're basically buying it, from someone else. So it's a retail item for them. You want to have more than one place that you can go to order your supplies. So I have no problem sharing with you guys other papers, because I still have, to test all these papers out for the sample packs. They're here. So I've used other papers as well. Let's see. Rosa says, I've learned so much in boot camp. Thank you so much for that. Your unboxing got me excited. Playback classes. Oh, so she asked, when will they go on sale? If the Heat make it to the finals, I'll give you guys an amazing sale on playbacks, okay? But the Heat have to make it to the finals. So that means y'all need to root for my Heat. We're up 1. So it's going to be I want it for lunch. I don't want it for dinner. I don't want pizza. I just want wings, because it's 50% off. Nate says the code does work. Nothing like a discount. I know, right? 15% off of like their sublimation blanks and all that kind of good jazz. I'm going to do some things from them too, because I got some some door hangers. I got awards. I got keychains. I got some other stuff from them too. They have these patches, these sequin ones. I cannot wait to do those. I've been waiting for my niece to tell me what she wants on it. And then she was like JoJo Siwa. And I'm like, really? Of all the things. So I'm gonna do it. And it's really cool the way that it's made. And you can add it to anything. So it's the sequin pattern. They are a lot smaller than I thought that they would be, but it has like a heart. And so you will sublimate on it, and then you can press it to any shirt. So you can turn any item into a sublimated, like double-sided sequin item. They have round ones, they have ones in hearts, and they have rectangle ones. So I thought that was pretty cool. I can't wait to show you guys those as well. That is my goal now, to finalize my vendors. Keep an Excel spreadsheet, or, have some sort of record. If you guys know, seriously though, if you guys do not have a business journal, you need to get one. It's great. There are a lot of companies that sell them, but you may find that it may not work for you and how it's set up. But if you can just get a notebook, put tabs on it. There's not, like, I went to the store and I'm like, I wonder if high schoolers use it, because I know with my sons, everything with them is composition notebooks. I remember being in school, and maybe that's more so like a middle school type thing or high school, but dividers. And I'm like, yo, my Trapper Keeper was full of dividers. And I'm showing my age when I'm talking about Trapper Keepers. And I was just talking about this with the team. I'm like, my favorite was the Lisa Frank ones. But I'm like, I remember my Trapper Keeper being like full of dividers and having individual tabs. And there is nothing wrong with going back to that method. We have allowed technology to overtake us to where we're not doing like the simple things we did when we were in school. The same things that we did in school can apply now to where you're using dividers. Get you a notebook, whether it's a 3-ring binder. Put dividers in there for vendors, for, your price breakdowns, like just different things, ideas. Write down what you want your sales to be, or, have a section for your goals. When you want to start your fall, like creating your samples and doing those sales. When do you want to start your Christmas sales? Like, get a business journal, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Go back old school and get a binder and some dividers and label those dividers. Yes, I'm telling ages now. A Trapper Keeper? What? Let's see. I don't have a sublimation printer. Is there a company you can recommend that I can upload a picture design to get a sublimation printout? Oh, and that, you know what? I just said that, and I'm bad because I did write some of them down, because when I was in a different group, I posted that question, and I have to find the screenshot because I took a screenshot of it. I do know that I have had someone reach out to me in regards to wanting to start a business of doing transfers with Honesty Speaking paper. She's like, I think it's amazing. I've been looking into wanting to do transfers to just sell them because people can't find them. So if Glow's Creation ends up, kind of jumping that off, I definitely would share that information with you guys. But I'm trying to think, oh my gosh, if you guys are watching and you are able to provide transfers, definitely go ahead and drop your link in there. I have to go back and look at the screenshot because I asked that question. I took screenshots and I have to go back and try and find that. Well, go through the screenshots and write them down because I never did. I can't go back to the group anymore because I'm not in that one anymore, but hopefully I can get that list. Do you know who sells clear heat tape? Johnson's Plastics Plus. That's where I got mine from. And the tape dispenser came from Amazon, but Erastus over on Heat Press University also sells the tape dispensers, but I got my tape from Johnson's Plastics Plus, and it's the clear one. I'm in the group, but can't find the boot camp. You're in what group? The boot camp is not a part of any of my groups. You have to sign up for it. You have to go to shop.silaholics.com to sign up for the boot camp. The game was crazy last night. Oh, whoa. What inks do I recommend? Well, I have inks now, but those will be in a lot sooner than the paper. So ink is expected to ship out in about like it should be within 2 weeks. It's in production now. They should be shipping it out to me within the next couple of days. So ink should be ready to be shipped out within about I want to say safely about 2 weeks. Ink, but we have ink over at Honestly Speaking. So what ink do I recommend? Honestly Speaking by Silaholics Anonymous. Yes, Trapper Keeper Generation. Yes. I agree. Computers and phones make me feel like I can't think for myself. Ooh, someone says Silky Sock. Oh, Silky Sock sells the transfers. Perfect. I purchased for them. That's actually the socks. I got my socks I'm going to use in week 3 of the boot camp. My socks came from Silky Socks. So she says silkysocks.com sells the transfers. Wow Imaging on Etsy is someone's go-to. So Wow Imaging on Etsy is a site, as a shop that you can go to for transfers. Let's see if there's anyone else. I can remember the commercials for Trapper Keepers and the Lisa Frank ones. Can I do a mock-up in any software? You actually can. Once you kind of get the blank, now how detailed or how realistic the mock-up will look depends on the program. I mean, it's better when you can like really, you can distort it or warp it. That's what I'm looking for it to fit and make it look like it's really wrapped around something. But you really can. Once you have a blank image of something, if you already have your design and your program allows for you to bring things to the front, send them to the back, you can just transpose that finished design on top and then be able to take a screenshot for a mock-up. Now, for a full, like all over shirt and you want it to really look like a realistic shirt, you will have to use, special programs for that. There was a question for Silhouette and I was over here trying to close out stuff because I have way too much stuff open up. And I forgot what the question was. I'm sorry. I got to go back and look at that because I completely forgot what the question was. Sorry, guys. I have to go back and find that Silhouette question, but I see some other ones coming in. So good morning. Do you have a tutorial on how to upload files to Silhouette Studio? What do you mean like upload the files? Do you mean to put them in your library or to just open up the file in Silhouette Studio, Nancy? Admired graphics for transfers. So Nikki recommends admired graphics for the transfers. I definitely can. It's in the description of the video. So if you just click down, just go to, it should be in the description of it. But go to, actually, let me give you the direct link to it. Let's pull this over here and let's go. All right, let's go to shop.silaholics anonymous.com. Oh, I just realized where I shared this too, and I said I don't like to do that. Like, um, if I got something somewhere, I'll just kind of I don't like to say it if I know I share somewhere that also sells blanks because um, what is the name of the group? I think it's Submission Blanks and Free Files, but I don't know like hers, and I'm not sure if I share it in prime time, but also has blanks. So when I kind of mention another company's name when they sell the same thing, I like to not do that if I shared. So I do apologize if I did. I'm not sure if I did or not. So we're going to go view and let's copy this and drop it over here. Here we go. But this is the site where you would go to get it's on sale, guys. Remember, well, the paper is on sale only until Friday. The ink is on sale. I have to check with even I forgot the date that the ink is on sale until I think it's until the day that it comes in. So, all right. Let's see. Um, mm, Elisa, I'm looking at yours. Are you on the site now? Because I did reply back to your email. Are you on the site now? Like the Academy site? Do you go on there to where? So you have to go to academy.silaholics.anonymous.com and you're going to see courses there. All right. You have to enroll. If you look at the PDF, it gave you a coupon code to put in so that you are not charged for October because you pay for October on the site. But you have to enroll in order to have access to the classes. And then you will see this just shows the curriculum here, but there are more classes. You're on your dashboard, it will show you the classes. Let me pull this over here real quick. Let me sign in and then I'll show you what you should see when you are on the site. Oh, come on. What are you doing? Let's see. 1 second. I'm trying to do this to where you can see how it's set up for you. Okay, so you will see it like this on yours once you are enrolled, and then you'll click on, so let's say for this one, you'll click on creating sublimation designs in Silhouette Studio. And then you'll click on each video and you'll be able to watch it right here in the player. So all the videos are there. So those are the ones for day one. Well, session one, day one, session one, day two. And then the introduction video is, the introduction video is in the Facebook group. It's not on here because it was too long and I haven't had a chance to edit it, but it's in the Facebook group. So if you're having issues with this, just inbox. It's quicker. Let's see, you sent that where? Via Facebook. Inbox me at silaholics.com. That way I'll see it and I can kind of go back and forth. I only have one email from you, love. That's all I have. Okay, so were you charged? Well, just inbox me and we'll discuss it then, because it's 3 months. It's 3 payments. It's not a 1/7. It's for anyone that's taking the boot camp. It's not one payment of $75. It is 3 payments of $75. You pay for October or your first month on the site. You pay for your next 2 months. Once you enroll, it will take out the payment. Let's see. Okay. I've been out of the loop since school has started. Do you mind sharing about the boot camp again? All right, give me 1 second, but I'm going to answer Nancy's how to open up a design in Silhouette Studio. So we're going to go ahead and go over to Silhouette Studio. And we're going to, so to open up a file in Silhouette Studio, you're just going to go File, Open, and you're going to go to wherever that file is. So I'm just going to open up this one. So this is a Silhouette file, but you will do the same thing no matter what type of file it is. So this was already saved as a Silhouette file. We're going to close that out. Now I'm going to go File, Open. If it was I'm going to go over here because I know these are JPEGs. So let's say it was a JPEG. I'm just going to click on this one. It's a background, a glitter background. It's going to open. If you are searching something on Google, you can open up the preview, right click and choose copy, and then paste it directly in Silhouette Studio just by right clicking and then choosing paste. You also have open merge. So open list of things that you've already opened. Merge will allow you to open up a file in the same window. So let's go back over here. Let's find something that is let's see, that's just a picture. Let's just scroll down to pictures. So let's open up this Crayola box. And see, it will merge it into this file. So either just File, Open, or you can hit the little folder right here or go File, Merge. And those are the ways to open up a file within Silhouette Studio. If it is an SVG file, you're going to get an error if you do not have Designer Edition or above. You do need Designer Edition Plus, or Business Edition to open up SVGs or PDFs. So if you're having an issue with those, it's probably because of the version that you are on. Let's see. Do I need to clean the cartridges before adding this ink? Before adding my ink, I do recommend it only because I know for the black ink, for the sublimation ink, ours is more of like a blue black, like it's a bluish purplish type black. It's not brown. So you don't want to mix it with the other ink. If you have the style that is just an open reservoir, so, and it has like the rough ridges on the back side of it, and you can just drain all that out. You don't necessarily have to completely rinse it out, but if you want to put a little bit of water and alcohol, kind of mix it in there, and then you still have to draw all of that ink out. I did a video that shows how you can switch and how you can pull that ink out, and then you will refill it. So definitely with the blacks, with the other colors, I mean, they are all kind of the same. The yellow is a little bit different. If you have just a little bit of the other ink in there and you kind of mix it, it can affect the color. So I can say for like with ours and me trying out a bunch of different ones, I did see a difference, and they weren't even mixed in the same cartridge. I put in brand new cartridges, and you can see the color difference when it prints out for like the first couple of prints or purge files. So I would recommend, especially with going to ours, that you do kind of wait until all of your ink is out. And for the black cartridge specifically, either purchase a new cartridge or I recommend rinsing that one out, the black one for sure. Hi, I'm new here. What does mock-up mean? All right, let's go over back to Silhouette Studio, and I'm going to go File, Open. Let's see. I just saw one that had a shirt on it. Let's see. So this is a mock-up, meaning you don't have an actual shirt. You have the shirt that's like just like the picture of the shirt, and then you put your design on top. So this is a mock-up. A mock-up can also pretty much just like, I mean, this is a mock-up, or you can just show them an example of the finished design. So let's see, File, Open. Let me go back. I'm trying to find one that is not on a shirt. I'm trying to think which one can I I mean, this technically is considered to be a mock-up. Like, I sent them their design of what the final one will look like. Now, it would be more of a mock-up if I put it on like a backdrop, a picture of like a blank backdrop. But a mock-up is just showing someone what the design will look like without it being the finished product. I don't know what's going on with that. That picture was huge. It's going to take forever. This is Silhouette Studio. So that's the software that I use. I teach Silhouette Studio. The base program is free. You can go to silhouetteamerica.com and download the free version. So like this one was basically the mock-up that I sent to my client, or the proof. This is not where if I put it on a banner, it becomes a mock-up, but this is more like a proof. So you can do that as well. And so I sent this to them so they can see exactly what it will look like. But I could have taken this and put it on a blank image of a backdrop for you to kind of see what it will look like. Ooh, what is the best setting for holographic? Try over and over and over again. I hate holographic vinyl. I hate it with a passion. I've turned it up sometimes, and I've cut it like on settings that I use for cardstock. I will say that I have not like found a really good sweet spot for holographic vinyl, because I will think that I have one and I will cut it. And especially depending on how the design is, it won't cut through. So then it just becomes a matter of me just repeating it, like doing another, like adjusting a setting up. Because if I see that it scored it, but it didn't cut through, I'll adjust it up. So I will say that I have not found a sure proof like setting for holographic vinyl. I just don't remove it. So I always kind of peek and check to see if it's going to come up. If it doesn't, repeat job, repeat job. So I have not found like a surefire like get it right on the first time setting for holographics, because every time I think I have, and if it's a different type of design, it doesn't actually work. So yeah, don't have a surefire one for that one. How do you crop an image to fit in the square in Silhouette Studio? All right, so let's go to, oh, well, you know what? Cancel. I'm going to use this one. So you see all of this extra, oh, wait, you guys don't, because I'm not sharing the screen. All right, let's go over here. So there's some extra white around here, right? So if I wanted to crop that down, I'm just going to put my box around it. Bring this down. So you have your box. You're going to drag and select to where you are grabbing both the image and the shape. You're going to go over to modify, and you're going to choose crop, and it's cropped down to that square. So it's as easy as one click of a button. Go to your modify panel and click on crop. That is how you crop down. I love the all over words you did the other day. That file is actually going to be up on the site today. Okay. Well, for those, he is sending it. Well, if you order it with the ink, when they come in, the man will send them out. Do you have a specific printer to do all over sublimation shirts? If so, what kind and what paper size? Well, there are large format. So I have a wide format. It's considered like a desktop wide format. So it only prints up to 13 inches wide. Now I can go up to 47 inches long. So if it's like, you know, if I end up doing 2 of those, I can do, well, I don't really like to print all the way to 13, but you technically can do, you can do it but it doesn't print right to edge. So you're not getting a full 13. I would say closer to about, it's actually a little bit bigger than 12 inches. But if you're on the safe side, you say 12, so you'll have about 24 inches. So you can do something that is 24 by 47 because you have 47 inches, and you'll have to do what's called tiling, and you'll piece them together. That's if you're using a smaller format. You can use, I mean, if you're using a wide format, you can use a small format printer that only does 8.5, but you're only going to have 8.5-inch strips. You can print 8.5 to 47.24 from those printers. So you can print longer, and you don't have to do it in little sheets, but you have to be able to find the paper the sub paper that is only 8.5, or buy the bigger roll and cut it down to 8.5. And then that way you can do 8.5 by 47, and you'll have less of them that you have to piece together versus a bunch of small 8.5 by 11 or 8.5 by 14. So you can do technically any of them. You can piece it together. It is ideal to use a printer that fits, you know, how wide. You have a 24-inch, the Epson F570, and they also have the short color that's 24. You have some that are 44 inches. You have some that are 64 inches. So it all depends. There are printers out there that will allow you to print it as one print, but they cost coins, big coins for those. And you have to have, well, for the printer, no. If you have the big heat press, it's certain electrical requirements that you have to have for that. Have I used the CB09 blade? I have, and I don't like it. I used it years ago, so I haven't used it in a long time, but I do. Let's see if I still have the housing. See, I have the blades. I mean, it's great for that, but my housing kept breaking, and I had like 3 of them because of the constant changing of the size. I don't see the housing, but there's this little piece on the inside that kept falling out of mine, because once you're constantly adjusting them. So to me, it was just too much. I just purchased a bunch of Silhouette blades. I haven't had an issue, like a major issue with it. I mean, it's good to, I wish Silhouette would consider having blades that had like different angles, because different angles will help for more intricate cuts. Like if it's a steeper angle, that helps with more intricate cuts. With the thicker paper, you want the one that is you want the blade to be not as steep, so you want it to be a little bit flatter. So I do wish that, you know, they would invest in not just having, because Silhouette blades are, I think, a 45 degree. I think they're a 45 degree, or they might be I don't think they're a 60. I think they're 45, but they're different blade angles. I do have a commercial cutter. So with that one, I use the different blades, but with the Silhouette one, no. I used it, but it kept breaking. Do you have good tips for getting rid of ghosting? So ghosting occurs when your paper shifts and it's still basically hot. And it's that, remember, that ink, when it's under that heat, it's still basically a gas. That gas is being released until that shirt cools and locks in that ink. You have the potential for the sublimation process to continue. It's not just a transfer of ink. Sublimation is a process of it going from what is basically now a solid on the paper into a gas, and it releases into the polymers of the shirt. So when you go and you lift up, like if your heat press pops up or you pop it up too high, if you have your pressure way too high, and I've seen some people, they got to hold on to the desk and pop it open, you're creating that shift, and that's where you're going to get that ghosting. So you want to have it where it, you know, you want to try and get it to stay in place. Adhesives work. Using heat tape sometimes help. The type of paper you're using also sometimes can affect whether or not you get ghosting, but most times it's when you get that pop and that paper shifts before you actually remove it, or when you're putting your heat press down, especially if you have a clamshell. If it started one place and then it kind of shifts, you'll get ghosting. So try to tape it down if you have to, or use adhesive, and also be very careful when you're lifting up your heat press, so that, and not putting a lot of pressure to where you're causing that like pop effect and causing it to shift. Where do you purchase roll of sub paper you were discussing? Like A-Sub has it on a roll. Johnson's Plastics Plus has sublimation paper on a roll. So check Johnson's Plastics. They have several different companies that they offer like their paper on the roll, but also A-Sub, you can get it from Amazon. It comes in the 13-inch wide size. So any of those two, one of those two places. I think I saw something else about Amazon, but now I don't see it. I could have sworn I saw someone ask something about Amazon. I know I saw the word Amazon. I know it. There it is. I knew I saw something about Amazon. What's your opinion on Amazon for business supplies? It's our go-to. Amazon is at our house almost every day for all types of things. Our shipping label printer came from Amazon. The rolls of the labels came from Amazon. We get tape from Amazon. We ordered some sample boxes from Amazon just to kind of try out different sizes. And then, of course, when it comes to bulk things, it may not be the greatest thing to order from Amazon. It's not always the cheapest, but our poly bag. Hold on. I need a water. Give me 1 second, y'all. I need a water. Hey, Pericles, can you bring me a water, please? But our poly bags came from there. I knew I shouldn't open the door. What's wrong, bud? What's wrong? Mommy can't pick you up. You don't have to worry. You won't be on camera. It's not facing that way. But Come on. You want somebody to play with, brothers in class? Lock your back. Yeah. Thanks. His brother's taking his diagnostics for iReady, so he definitely can't go in there. He don't like locked doors, and now my door is locked and his brother's door is locked. But yeah, so we got our poly mailers from there. I've gotten stickers, like labels, like labels and stuff from there. I mean, yeah, we've gotten all types of things. So it's definitely a source for getting your supplies and things. And I like the convenience of Prime, and a lot of the stuff comes in 2 days. So, and we have a fulfillment center right here at my back door. So I like Amazon because especially when I want stuff quick, fast, in a hurry. I mean, especially since the pandemic, we order almost everything, even for the house and all kind of sorts of things we get from Amazon. All right, let's see. Which version of Business Edition are you using? I have 4.4 and it's horrible. Is it possible to go back to 3.8 without losing files? You can go back to 3.8. On my laptop, which is my main like designing one, I still use version 3.6. But then when I want to save it as like an SVG, I save it to my cloud. Then I open it up on the computer here in the office. And then I'll save it as like an SVG, or if I want to save it as a PDF right from Silhouette, I have to come to the version 4.3. 4.4 is very glitchy. I will say that it still is quite glitchy. I updated the one on the main desk because I'm not touching this one because I need it for classes, and it was still kind of messing up. I don't know what's going on with them with this 4.4 version. So 4.3.370, 32-bit is the most stable in my opinion. You can go to version 3, but you will lose all of the new features of version 4. So with Business Edition, if you go down to 3.8, the only thing that you're really gaining is the ability to cut to multiple machines. You also have, I think, 3 has the advanced rhinestone features. You have the weed boxes, you have media and things like that, but you don't have the ability to, you can open up, in Illustrator files and embroidery files and things like that, but you cannot save. That is a version 4 feature. So if you go all the way back down to 3.8 and you only have one computer system, you're going to lose a lot of those features, but you won't lose your files. Your files are not associated with any particular edition that you're using. It's on your computer, but if you have them saved to your cloud, 3.8 is still cloud-based, so you won't lose anything as far as your cloud. Now, if you went down to 3.6, you would have to export your entire library and then import it because 3.6 does not have cloud storage. What is better, sublimation or printable vinyl? They are like night and day. They're 2 totally different things. Sublimation does allows you to press directly to a substrate and you don't feel it. There's no hand, there's no hand feel to it. There's no separation. You rub your hand on it, you're not going to feel the difference. Anything else, you will. It's the only one where you won't feel the actual design. Screen print, you can physically feel. My shirt is screen print. I can feel the texture of the ink. Direct to garment, it's printing ink on top of the shirt. You can feel it. Vinyl, it's on top of the shirt. Printable vinyl, it's on top of the shirt. So sublimation is the only process where you're not going to feel it. It becomes a part of the shirt, but it also requires polyester. The higher the polyester count, the better and more vibrant it's going to look. You can do it on ones that are blended, but the colors aren't as sharp and as vibrant when you're using 92% polyester or higher. But there are times where you want cotton shirts or you want colored shirts and things like that. And even on a polyester shirt, you would have to put it on some sort of printable vinyl. So it is something that you're not going to be able to totally get away from, even if you're doing sublimation, because it requires, like for a colored shirt, like if the shirt is already colored, you're going to have to use some sort of printable transfer, whether it is you're using a solvent based printer and you're printing to actual vinyl, or if you're using an inkjet printer and you're printing to like Jet Pro 3G, Avery for Dark, Starcraft. I forgot the one that Condi has. So if you're using ones like that, you will still need some sort of transfer for those darker colored shirts. So you don't get away from them. So they're two totally different things. Even when you're doing sublimation, you may still end up using some sort of printable transfer. What silhouette would you recommend for beginners? What do you mean for silhouette? The machine or the program? The program is the same no matter what level you are. I mean, Business Edition just opens up additional design features. So you don't have to be an expert to use business. It just gives you the ability to open up more file types, to save as more file types. You'll have like a couple different tools in there that can actually make it easier for you as a beginner, because like I like the multiple undo, I like the properties dropper. It makes it where something less steps to complete. So if you're talking about upgrade version, I mean, you can get business even as a beginner. It doesn't mean that you have to be running a business. The name is kind of deceiving, but you do not have to be running a business to use Business Edition. It just means like their original thought process with the Business Edition was, and like the main feature was to be able to cut to more than one machine. I guess they assumed if you are cutting to more than one machine, you got to have a business. So it's called Business Edition, but you do not have to run a business to have that edition. You can just be a regular crafter, but you want all of the features of the program. I should do a live with vocabulary for what? For Silhouette Studio vocabulary or like MJ vocabulary? Am I still making cards for what? I'm not sure what that means. How do you control the roll paper to stop pulling out extra paper when finished printing? When my printer finished printing, it pulled out the same amount, but the paper but the paper empty. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm not sure if the last part means when my printer finished printing, it pulled out the same amount, but the paper was empty. Oh, I mean, it just kept going. Yeah, with the Epson 7720s and things like that, the desktop ones, they're not like the big boys to where once it gets done to the end of the print, it will feed and then cut. It's not like those where it's made for a roll. It's a roll feeder. That's how that is, designed. For these, they're not designed that way. They have a stopping point. So you're going to have to cut your paper down to the size that you are using. So if you're using, if you're doing like a 30-inch print, you're going to cut your paper down to 30 inches. If you're doing the full 47, you'll cut your paper down to 47 inches. So you have to cut it down. If you don't, and you just put the roll back there, it's going to feed and feed and feed and feed and feed until all of that paper is gone, or you're going to have to get something and go really, really fast and slice it. But yeah, you have to cut it down to size. Question: in studio, say you just want to move over just a hair, but it keeps moving past where it needs to go. How do I adjust smaller places tabbing so that it fits or gets where I want it? Oh, that means that you have your, let's get rid of this because that one is going to be really, really big. So here, if you go over to your page, and I can't even move this, but you can kind of sort of see it in the corner right here. It's lit up. So I'm gonna click on the pick scan so you can see the change. And then you see that one. So right next to the Academy flag at the top brings up your page setup. So the next one, this is your where you put all your page size in. The next one over is your grid settings. Here you have show grid, snap to grid, show guides, snap to guides. If you have snap to grids on, whether you show your grids or not, when you go to move it, it's going to jump around. It's not going to move smoothly. If you take this off, you now can move it. Or if you use your arrow, it moves slower. If you have it on snap to grid, it's going to move in bigger sections depending on the way your grid is set up. So if I go show grid right now, my only an inch, so it would move based off of an inch. So like if I move this, let's click on it and I move it, see it's moving to that half an inch. It's moving like everywhere there is a line. So I have my spacing at an inch, but I have divisions to be 4. So that's basically a half an inch. So it's going to jump a half an inch every time. If I take off, well, let's go show grids, but I take off snap to grid. See, look, I can move it and nudge it much slower. And then if I move it, I can move it wherever I want. Snap to grid, it's going to snap to one of those lines. Does the Subly spray really work? I have never used it. I don't really like the idea of spraying a cotton shirt to make it, work for sublimation. I am one that believes sublimation is meant for polyester, and that is what you should use. So I've never used it. I do, however, don't feel the same way when it comes to hard substrates, because hard substrates are made from applying a poly coating to it. So I do want to try the Subly glaze. I just haven't had a chance to try that out yet. But these poly tee or Subly tee, no, I don't subscribe. Like, I don't like the idea of trying to make a cotton shirt sublimatable. How do you find the original author of a design? I was asked to make an Alzheimer's shirt. The shirts are all over the internet, but of course, I don't want to copy the image. Just because you find the original person doesn't mean that they're selling the image. A lot of times people will see something from the internet and just copy and paste it and use it. Is it right? No. Do people do it? Yes. You do it at your own risk. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your business. I don't like when people do that. Hey, they take on the risk themselves. So just because you find a design doesn't mean that that person is actually in the business of selling the design. I have something that is going to come out very soon. It is something that I created. It was copywritten, and as far as like the words, and there's a design. I already know once I release the words to this, there's going to be 1,001 different versions of it and designs. Do I plan to sell the design to where people can make their own shirts? No. Are people going to take it? Yes. I'm prepared for that. Nothing you can really do about it. I know I've used Mickey before. For those who truly want to support and buy the shirt, it's like, it's great. But I know that there's going to be others who just going to take it. And, that's kind of a part of the business. And it's like whether or not you want to go on, go in and actually sue someone. If you have the, the cap, if you have the means to sue someone over it. So when it comes to that, you can do a lot of researching. Sometimes you would think that you found the original person because there's so many people on that site, and then you find out that they are not the original designer for it. My suggestion would be to create, pull in different elements and create your own version of it without trying to copy theirs exactly or find that one. Sometimes you'll spend so much time researching to find a specific file that you've wasted so much time that could have been used for actually redesigning it yourself. What printable vinyl do I recommend? They all are really obvious. Like, they all are the same. I used Avery for many, many years. And then I switched over to Jet Pro because I was able to get the bigger size. But I have no issue with Avery. I've used Jolie. I've used, I have a bunch of them here from China that I got because with honestly speaking, our goal what the heck is going on? Our goal is to have a wide variety of papers and inks and things like that. So I'm trying out so many different things. So I have some here, actually some right there. And I was testing this one and I've printed it when you first print it off with the sublimation ink and you press it, it does blur, but I let this one sit and this is what it's doing in that sublimation ink. It blurred like on the paper, it got blurry. Like it wasn't even pressed or anything. So the ink is just spreading out across it. So I prefer pigment inks versus sublimation. So I let this one kind of sit. I didn't press it. The one little piece that was here, I pressed, but this one, I kind of let it sit there. It did overnight. What is the purpose of Photoshop? Okay, so good example is that picture that is in your thumbnail. Something like that, because you see how it fades off and like blends into the water at the bottom. That is something that you would be able to do in Photoshop. Photoshop is it's different from Silhouette because Silhouette, Studio, Illustrator are there. It's all about paths and filling them in with colors. If you want to create some, oh, you know what? Let me see if I can find it. While I'm talking through it, I'm going to see if I can find, so file, open, let's search. So you're able to like create different designs. When you are a true graphic designer, I mean, it's how you color designs like in Photoshop where you're filling in with color. So these aren't made up of individual shapes. There's an outline and then they color it in. So Photoshop is when you're creating graphics. Now, something like this can be created in a vector-based program because it's line art. It's nice sharp lines. Bugs Bunny, there's no lines to it. It's made up of just coloring in and shading. So a program like Photoshop, Procreate, Affinity Photo is where you would design this. Like this one right here, you still need something that you can color in and shade like Procreate. I know, this is from Raw Sushi. She colors hers and I'm trying to get it to focus, but she colors hers in using Procreate. So it would be programmed like that's how you create like designs. When you're a graphic designer, like, and they're creating stuff like this and graphics and cartoons and stuff, that's what you need Photoshop for. But for what most of us do, you don't really need Photoshop. Any program that allows you to open up files and manipulate them, you can use. In where like my core audience, they're here because they aren't graphic designers. They aren't using it to where they're using different brushes and they're going in and creating the different shades. And the ones who are creating the files aren't necessarily my core audience. It's the ones who want to put them together to build a design. That's who my core audience is. So you can take files that someone has already created, bring it in, mix it with other things, and you don't have to create the file itself. So you can do that. And you can do that with Silhouette Studio. You can do that. I don't understand what people do with Microsoft Word, but you can. Even Cricut Design Space to a certain degree, Inkscape. So you're just taking elements that are already made and then you're bringing them to a program, mixing them with your own fonts, mixing them with different colors, rearranging them. In what we do as like just still with just layering, Photoshop is great for creating glows and offsets and drop shadows, fading things off, cleanly removing background. So it does have a benefit within like the crafters world who aren't trying to like be full on graphic designers. It does serve, it's a great companion to have with Silhouette Studio. All right, let's see. Vector stock. I'm trying to find something that has a lot of different, oh, no, you know what I need to look for? Bubble, the one that I was working on. Bubble letters. Bubble letter. Um, I have one that I was working on, and it's a bunch of different layers. Oh man, am I gonna find it quick enough? I don't even know what this is, but I'm just gonna open it up just for the heck of it. I don't know what that one is though, I must say. Oh, it's that mask. Hold on. Why you keep jumping around? Let me see if I can get that one to open up. All right, I'm gonna come back to that. Oh well, let's open this one. Hopefully it doesn't shut down Silhouette Studio because that's a big file. Oh, vocabulary for terms like ghosting, sub, offset, and things like that. Yeah. Okay. Exactly. Always have to stay one step ahead and keep creating. Let's see. This one came in kind of badly, but if we kind of take this one, I'm going to ungroup it. So like vector files, everything has a shape. This one, although came in kind of weird, but so with this isn't necessarily like just coloring and shading. This is one part of it, and then this is another part, and then you have here. So to give it that 3D look, and I'm probably loud as crap because I'm leaning into the microphone. To give it this 3D look, it's made up of flat objects that are just layered in a specific way, and then the colors flow a certain way to give it a 3D look. But this is all vector. It's made up of shapes that have distinct paths, and then you just have different cutouts and variations of it to create that 3D look. Okay. But with Photoshop, you will be able to just have the G, and then you would fill it in with color, and then you can use a brush and then be able to fill this part in, like brush it in to be this color, pick another color, brush this in. So it would be flat, and you're creating these portions by brushing it in and using things like clipping mask and all that kind of good jazz. So let's close this out before it freezes up my computer. Let's see. What brand shirts do you use for sublimation, and where do you purchase yours? I purchase from all over. I have purchased from Jiffy Shirts. I have purchased from, I get the shirt that I did the other day that said best mom ever was from Walmart. I get things from Florida Flex. I get things from TSF. You have Alpha Broda. You have Condi. I got some vapor shirts from Johnson's Plastics Plus. I don't have just one vendor. I really only do them for teaching purposes. I don't sell sublimation shirts. It would be virtually impossible for me to do the level of teaching that I do and how many one-on-ones I do per day and try to maintain a business as far as making shirts. I used to, now I do more teaching. And before, I would get shirts from everywhere. I don't have one vendor because oftentimes you'll go to one place and they don't have it. Oh, Epic Sports. That was another place that I would get things from. Again, a business journal, a business notebook, and you're writing down, do a Google search. So many places will come up. There's one now that's called Shirt Warehouse, I think. There's cheap shirts. I used to get things from cotton shirts. I got some from, what is that place called? It was not Discount Mugs. Why can't I think of the name of the place right now? I can't think of their name. But Michael's, Joann's, people were really digging the cricket shirts. So they have those. There are buy-in groups for shirts. There are some people that have like regular groups and they sell shirt blanks. So create a business journal and just research the hell out of it. Do Google searches for polyester shirts. There's so many different brands out there. You have Jersey, you have Gildan, you have Ultra Club, you have Vapor, you have Augusta. I'm trying to think. Who else have I used? Certain blends, like Bella Canvas has certain blended ones you can use. You have Creek. There's a lot of options out there. There is no one option. There is no one place that you're going to go for your supplies. When using the sublimation paper, well, sub roll, for instance, a large print, we have to measure and cut roll before. Yes, you have to measure and cut it before you put it in the printer. Where do you get shipping boxes for mug orders? When I order mugs like from Johnson's Plastic, it actually comes in a box. If not, I have used boxes like the ones from Walmart. They have a small one, but you have to pack it with a bunch of stuff on it. But I have not had to ship any mugs. Again, I do not do that anymore. When I had when I did ship or did provide them mugs and things, mainly was like local. I actually for the longest time, I tried to avoid shipping things out because if you're by yourself and you're doing it and you have a lot of different stuff, it adds a lot of work to it. Local to me just works better. There is a lot of money available locally if you are promoting the right way. Having a website is great. I liked having like an Etsy before so that local people knew where they can go to order, they can put their invoice in, and it was kind of like all in one. But I really don't like shipping because, it takes away, you have to then create that time for the shipping. If you don't have someone that's helping, or you can't go and you can make it and then you can pass it off to somebody else to ship it, it takes up a lot of time. Doing the invoice, like doing your invoicing, printing off your shipping labels, getting the boxes, packaging it up, and all that. When you don't have help, if it's just you by yourself, it becomes a lot to deal with the shipping and then trying to get it there. Like there are days where we try to leave it here for the post office to pick it up whenever we are shipping things out. Sometimes if we don't get mail, they don't come. If you don't have a certain amount, you can schedule a pickup, but it's better if you have like a bigger type order. Like we can schedule a pickup for them to come. Then it's like you have to go and take it to the post office. So it's a lot especially when you're doing custom stuff. I'm glad, like I said before, I had no desire to do ink, paper, like all that kind of retail stuff because I enjoy teaching. I wouldn't be able to take the time to do that, to go through orders, to print out the packing slips and to, pack them up, go triple check, make sure it's all there, package it up, put the label on it, send it off to the post office. I wouldn't be able to do that and keep up with the way I do my classes, to keep up with, doing my YouTube videos, to keep up with my one-on-one session, to keep up with creating files for my site. I wouldn't be able to do that. So because of the pandemic and my husband being home, that is now what he does. So it takes a lot to do that. I mean, we use a lot of poly mailers for mugs and things like that, and cups. A lot of my customers were local, so I didn't necessarily have to worry about it. But like Johnson's Plastics, theirs comes in a box, so you don't have to worry about it. You only have to really worry about the mugs a lot of times when you're doing cases. Although, no, I did get some single handle ones, and those didn't come in a box. And I was like, what the heck? But Johnson's does sell the boxes for them. Uline sells mug boxes because we were looking at, I just happened to go past them when we were looking for other boxes. So Uline, just do a Google search. Like there's so many places. You can start off with Amazon. Sometimes the requirements to really get a discount, you have to buy, let's say 50, and you may not need 50. You can get 5 or 10 from Amazon, but you're going to pay a little bit more for it, but you're not paying that big amount for that, for a lot of them. So just kind of research again, write it down in your business journal. Get you some dividers and start writing it down. Let's see. I need the Alzheimer design in screen prints. They want the image on dark purple shirts, 100 shirts. I would need to order the prints. I don't do screens. I don't know how that works and if it's even profitable. Oh, it is very profitable. Or what the turnaround time is for the screens. Is it a full color design? Is it one color? Is it 2 colors, 3 colors, or more? Tell me how many, and I'll kind of give you screen printed transfers. If they're no longer in the office, They were moved to the garage so I can make space for like teaching stuff. But I make hoodies, and I'm the one that presses them for a company here. So I order the transfers, and I'm the one that whenever they have an order, they bring me their hoodies and I press it for them. They come pick them up, and then they go and they send them off to their customers. They didn't have a heat press. Now she has a heat press. So I'm going to end up training her on how to basically do it herself. And so she can, be able to take on that full profit and not have to pay me to do it. But screen prints are very, very, very profitable because you don't have to worry about doing the work, and they're not expensive. I've used 613 Originals. I've used FM Expressions. I've used Transfer Express, and there are so many other places that offer them. But 613 and FM Expressions are my two go-tos. How do you save a design you created where you place text around a shape? When I move or resize my design with text around the circle, most of the time my text doesn't move correctly with the. Oh, you have to lock it. So if you're doing text to path, there is a full video on my YouTube channel, Silaholics Anonymous, but you're basically doing text to path. So with that, you have to right click it and choose an option to make it a path. You will no longer be able to type when you are doing that. You will no longer be able to type anything else once you convert it. But there are several options. You can either ungroup it, you can weld it, you can make it a compound path, you can release compound path on it, but you have to turn it into a path. So if we go with, who was that? TENESSA. Let's go ahead and add some color to that. And let's just change the font on it. And we're going to double click on it to bring it down to the shape and curve it. Now, yes, if you move this around, it may not move with it. If you stretch this, it's going to make your letters sometimes go all funky. Like if I push this up, see, my letters go funky versus just flattening around it. So what you want to do is right click it. And one of the easier ways, especially when it's just regular block letters, is to convert to path. Now this separates from the circle and you're able to resize this. But do not resize if you need to resize your shape, you need to click on that white circle, pull your text away from the away from the shape, and then resize it and then bring your text back down. So you can't go like, okay, I want it this size and then I want to resize it. Like you want to put it on there, you realize it's the wrong size, you want to resize it, you have to take it off, resize it, and then put it back on. I appreciate your knowledge and your teaching skills. I have said it before and I'll say it again. If I ever learn 1 of 10 of what you know, I'll be ecstatic. Oh, thank you so much, Jan. Full color. Oh, so 613 with 100 of them, it really is going to be profitable for you. Let's go ahead and pull this over here. I'm going to show you 613 originals, or is it original? Yeah, originals. So we're going to go there. I'm going to drop this link over here in the comment section. And then we're going to go over to FM Expression. Here's a little known fact about these two companies. I want you guys right now to count on your fingers like A, B, C, D, and tell me what letter is F and what letter is M. So do that. Count out like you're doing the alphabet and what number it correlates with. So F and M, which number letter is it in the string of alphabets? What type of printer would I need for screen printing? It's not a printer. So if you don't know what the screen print process is, well, they use a printer to print out the screens, but it's a mesh. And so like the traditional way of doing it, because you can do it with vinyl, And so they print it out on like a transparency or like a film. They put emulsion on the screen and you let it dry on there. You put your black and white, well, just black image on there. You hit it with the light to burn that into the emulsion, and then you blow it out. And then that creates a void in the screen where you're going to, like, where the ink will flow. So there is a screen print press. So it's not a printer, it is a press. And they means like it's this big either metal or wood screen. It has a mesh on it. They put it on there and they use either plastisol ink or water-based ink, and then you push it through the screen onto your shirt. So it's not an actual printer. All right. 6 and 13. Yes. So FM Expressions was started by Frank and Mary. They decided that, hey, we've been doing this a really long time. We haven't spent time together. They sold their company to, they basically sold it off. They went and traveled and went jet setting around the world. They finally came back to the States and said, you know what? We miss our first love. So with the whole 15-cent transfers, 20-cent transfers, and the way that they do that, they were the originators, and they sold their company to go jet setting. They came back, settled in Jersey, and they're like, we want to do this again. Therefore, 613 Originals. They are which is why when you look at it, it's pretty much the same type of concept. 15-cent transfers, 20-cent transfers, a setup fee. It's a setup fee every time you do it. It's the same exact concept because it was originally their baby. So 613 Originals is still Frank and Mary. 6 and then 13. That's a little known fact about FM Expressions and 613 Originals. They were started by the same people. Oh, it didn't do FM. It didn't post it. All right. So with the full color one from FM Expression, we're going to go down here. If you're ordering 100 of them and it's the 9x12 and 3/4 size, you pay $1.15. I know it's kind of small. Let me switch over to the bigger one. Oh, it's still kind of small. You pay $1.15 per transfer. If it's the 12x12 size, it's $1.50 per transfer. Your setup fee is $60 or $80. So you want to try and order more. So to set that up, it's $60 or $80 for it. And then each transfer is $15. Or if you want to order less, you just pay more. They added this one maybe like within the last year or so, where if you add more of, they made it to where you can purchase less. Before, it used to be a 75 print minimum. Now you can order 50 to 70, 50 all the way up, but you just pay more for it. Even with this one, I kind of didn't like when they did that because it used to be $1.15 if you ordered 75. Now it starts at 100, but they made it to where you now have a smaller quantity that you can order. If you order more than 300, you don't pay the setup fee. 613 is basically the same way. Let's see, where are their full color, single image, and let's see. So there's same thing, 9.275, 115. See, it was 75. It was 75 minimum. That's what theirs is. They don't have an option for a lower amount of them. And then the 12x12 is 150, 60, and 80. Free for 300. Free for 300. You see where we're going here? Exact same setup. So either one of them. The major difference, though, I will say this, the major difference between the two is shipping. When it comes to UPS, the more you ship out, then you get the better rates, and you have it where you get better rates for shipping and like the faster times. FM, I will order from them when I want it a lot quicker because I can get it. Well, it's not a lot quicker, it's a day. With a single color, single image transfers, if I order before 3 o'clock on Monday, I will have them Monday, Tuesday, I will have them at my door on Thursday. If I order on Tuesday, I will have it at my door on Friday because there is no Saturday. If you order anytime after Wednesday, you won't get it until the next. Well, you'll get it the next week. Mail moves, but not like that. So if I order on Wednesday, and they ship out Thursday, or if I order on Thursday and they ship out Friday, I still tend to get it on either like on Monday, most times, even if it was on a Thursday, or on Tuesday. You know, if they shipped out on Friday, I'll get it no later than Tuesday, but most times it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I normally get it on that Monday because they'll ship it out like that Friday. Well, they'll ship it out Friday, and then mail still moves and all the couriers still move, and I'll normally get it on Monday. If you order on Friday, you're not going to get it. Like, they won't, even if you order it at 3, they won't produce it until Monday because they're not open on the weekends. So they'll ship it out on Monday, and then it's 2 days from that. So if you order on Friday, you won't get it for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You'll get it on Wednesday if you order on Friday. Make sense? So I like FM better for shipping. 613, I'm not sure, it's just because of where they are from. It takes 3 days to get to me instead of just 2, and they ship it ground. FM, I think it's 2-day air, and I get it. 613, it was ground, but it's been a couple months since I ordered it, and they were just starting out, and that's how UPS works. When you have those big commercial accounts, it really depends on how much volume you are shipping out, as far as where you get the bigger discounts at. But yeah, same exact setup, and I recommend these for those. I like Stahl's Transfers Express, but their pricing is nothing like this for the single images. And you come out way cheaper doing single versus trying to get a bigger sheet and doing gang sheets. Let's see. Let's go back to my thoughts were that they can order the shirts already designed for $15, $16 each and free postage. I don't think I would. Oh, $15, $16 for a full color shirt is definitely too low. And you're offering free shipping? No, ma'am. I mean, unless you were doing it for like literally as a not-for-profit and you were kind of having something for them, yeah, you're not going to make like very much money doing a full color like that. And offering the free shipping is the part that's going to get you. You should never be offering free shipping like that. I mean, unless your business is established and you can take that hit because you're profiting in so many other areas. I mean, 15, 16, if you kind of want to do it, it's charity type thing, but I definitely would not offer free shipping because depending on where it's going to, one, you have to think about shipping is not just about it going to the post office, unless you're going to order their boxes and you're going to use like their priority. But then it's like you have to send it priority at that point. You can't send it flat rate, not flat rate. You can't send it first class mail. If you're going to send first class mail, then you have to worry about, purchasing your poly mailers. You have to think about, the stickers that you will use for printing out to go on the mailers. That is an expense when it comes to it. You have to think about the box that you were shipping. If they got more than one shirt, how are you shipping it? If you're putting the shirt inside of a baggie first and then putting in the poly mailer, there are so many things that you have. Shipping is more than just that dollar amount that you see on a site to ship it out. There are so many other things, which in turn, a lot of times is some people feel like, oh, well, why do I have to pay so much for this or whatever? Oh, I looked at this, it only costs this amount. But when you go and you're using a website, it doesn't account for the box for shipping. So it's going to give you the cost, like what that company is charging me to ship it once it's to them. So I have to account for the tape, the boxes, the labels, and all that other, the packing material that is built into the cost, like the price of the item. What I meant was they can order them for that price, not me doing it for that price. Oh, okay. Oh, they can order it from someone else at. How did you get in here? I locked the door. God, come on, mommy's almost done. I guess it's that. I don't know. I hate when he wakes up at my alarm goes off. When he comes into our room in the middle of the night, our alarms wake him up at like 7 o'clock. So now he's just super, super cranky. And he needs a nap. It's 12 o'clock. He needs a nap. I got to get off of here. I've been on for an hour and 40 minutes. It's supposed to be an hour and 30. Husband needs to go to Sam's as well, and he needs a nap. So I need to put him down for a nap. Oh yeah, but if they can get it from somewhere for $15, $16, they're saying they can get that and it's free shipping from somewhere, then yeah, you probably won't be able to beat that and you're not going to profit from it. If that is true, like, and they can get it from somewhere else, but they also have to think about the shipping time. If it's somewhere that's like a drop ship, a lot of times with those companies, if they're ordering it from someone, they will not start to ship it until they get a certain number of them. And a lot of the times that's another thing too. These drop shipping companies, some people like them and it's like for convenience that they don't have to do anything. You're hands off. I don't have to worry about packaging anything up and shipping it off. But a lot of these drop shipping companies, guess what they're using? They're ordering the transfers and anticipating when you have your order, and they will a lot of the times press it and then package it up. They're not going and just do you know what it would take to screen print like one order here, one shirt here, one shirt there, one shirt here, one shirt there, because you're going to waste ink. Like you have to put a lot of ink down to flood your screen. A lot of these drop shipping companies for these apparel, like these companies, they are using screen print transfers, the same things that you guys have access to. They are using them. And when someone orders from you, like, from your side or from wherever it is, like Teespring, someone's pressing it, they're bagging it up, and then they're shipping it out, which is why I know a lot of companies, they will have that, but they don't start to ship out until you reach a certain number of shirts, because they're going to waste money producing one shirt. They do not produce. No one who's doing screen printing is producing one shirt. One-offs are great for sublimation. One-offs are great for heat transfer vinyl. No one is doing one-offs for screen printing unless they have purchased a bunch of pre-done transfers, and you can one-off them just by pressing them. All right. Yeah, shipping can be very, very hard when it comes to 613 originals. In Florida, all over shirts average anywhere from $35 to $45 starting cost, and then goes up depending on the size of the shirt. But on average, they are about $35, $40 somewhere in there is the starting price. If you are not seeing a pop in your colors, honestly speaking, and this is why we kind of came with that name, a lot of the sublimation ink is sublimation ink. If you're not seeing a pop in color, it's probably not going to be because of the ink. I have used the Epson ink that is for the 570 in my Epson printer. I still get great colors. It's going to be on the material that you are using, and then your paper that you're using sometimes can affect it, and whether or not you are pressing it long enough to get full ink release. Your time and your temperature, we know if you're pressing it long enough. All of those things are factors that affect how vibrant something is. More importantly, the material that you're putting it on. If your shirt only has 65% polyester, nothing that you do, I don't care what ink you use, you're not going to get a vibrant print. If it's a 50-50 blend, you're not going to get a vibrant print. So it's less about the brand of ink, because honestly speaking, we're all getting it from overseas. Sublimation ink is sublimation ink. Some of them do have different profiles. You have some that are formulated, to match as closely as possible the ink or the color profile for the workforce printers. They're all pretty much the same. There is a difference in the blacks. I will say that, because some of the companies have a traditional brown sublimation ink, and then there are some that have more of a blue black or like a purplish black type color for their black. But sublimation ink is sublimation ink. It's about who you want to support. What business do you want to support and where you buy your inks from? They're all pretty much the same. We're all getting them from overseas somewhere. There are some of them that say that it is manufactured in the US. I've kind of seen them. They said that it is completely manufactured in the US. That is my goal, to be able to get to that point. But that, I'm doing a lot of research on that and understanding how the filtration system and how you mix the pigments in and stuff like that. So I'm doing my research on the back end. I would like to be able to have that manufactured stateside or find someone stateside, but I need the same quality. But it's being imported in. So all of them are pretty much the same. I looked and looked, and of course, you always want to research your competition. I see so many companies on Etsy that sells ink, Shopify stores, Facebook groups that sell ink. And some of the bottles, I can look at the bottle and I know instantly where they got it from on the import export website. I know exactly which vendor they got it from. So it's all pretty much the same. But once it's stateside, it's very expensive to get it over here. Very expensive to get it over here, or it can be a lot less, but take a longer time. So it's about, once it is stateside, what company do you want to support? Who's giving you the support that you need with helping you with your troubleshooting and things like that? That's honestly what it is about when it comes to this ink game, this paper game, even shirts and things like that. With Silhouette Studio, who do you want to support that's also going to support you in what you're doing? Let's see. You were going to ask about drop shipping. Yeah, for shirts, drop shipping is, yeah. I use Cricut shirts. Should I change my shirts? Cricut shirts actually press fairly well. So it's probably going to be then what is, like, the type of paper you're using, what temperature you're using. Are you adjust? Well, I can't even say, I used to say pressure a lot, but sometimes I have this bad boy set to 0, but printer quality, heat press quality matters, because if you don't have even temperature, if you don't have even pressure, that is going to affect the final result as well. I don't care if you're using the greatest paper ever, the greatest ink ever, honestly speaking, available now on the website, will be shipped out starting November 1st, and the ink as early as the end of September. But if you're ordering, I don't care what it is, you're going to be ordering the best of the best and using the best of the best. If your heat press is not working properly, not holding to the right temperatures, if it's user error in how you are applying it, you cannot blame the ink company. You cannot blame the paper company. It is then at that point user error. Reach out to those companies. Hopefully they can answer your questions for you to find out what can you do and help you figure out what is the missing link in why your colors aren't vibrant or they're not coming out to your expected results. So true. Customer service and support is everything. Yes, that's it. I love your honesty. I'd rather support you. Thank you so much. I use Cricut shirts. My colors pop well to me, so don't think it's the shirts. She's like, I've ordered and I get paid. You've never steered me wrong in 6 years. Yep, you are one of the long time since I started this journey about almost 7 years ago now. Yep, never steal you wrong. Never. All right, guys, let me go and get out of here because he needs to get to Sam's before it gets busy in there. The little one is obviously in need of a nap, and he wants boobies probably too. That's probably why he keeps coming in here, because he probably wants to take a nap and he's looking for boobs. I still nurse. Don't tell anybody. So, she says, I ordered your paper, got to get the ink. It's me. Don't press long enough. And papers are different too, because I was using a lot of other brands. I was using, I use like A-Sub and the text print, and I'll test with that because I have those in 8.5 by 11 sizes. I was using a different brand when it came to like the bigger size, like 11 by 17 and 13 by 19. Once I was not using that particular company anymore and I switched to Johnson's Plastics, it has great ink release. The colors are great, but you can feel it. When I first got it, I was like, oh, this paper is kind of thick. So with that particular paper, because it is so thick, I have to press at 400 degrees and I have to press it for 68 seconds in order to get full ink release, or it's like 65, 68, somewhere in there, seconds in order to get full ink release. So you have to know your paper. You have to know what you are using and what are the capabilities of it, which is why I have done so many videos. You guys can check it out. And I tried to get away from sublimation, but I'm going to do some more. So after I get baby boy kind of down for a nap, I have some other videos. I'm going to come and show you guys again, me using Honestly Speaking ink, Honestly Speaking paper. We're going to do some air fresheners and I was going to do an air freshener and something else. I can't remember what it was. Oh, the pop socket, because I want to put it on the back of my phone. And then the rest of the items you guys will see if you join the boot camp week through session 3. I'm going to be sublimating like for the 2 days, straight sublimation for those 2 days. All right. Thank you so much for all this info. You're amazing. Thank you. Learning from you and your group. Ooh, how better is the one? This will be the last question that I answer, guys. Last question that I answer. So Lisa Thomas, congratulations. You are on YouTube. It's the last question I'm going to answer. How better is the 100 gram versus the 125? So with that, it's a couple different things when it comes to the weights. The 100 can fare better on shirts because it is a thinner paper, which means you're going to get less of a line of demarcation when you are pressing. Where you get that line from is because it's a thick paper. Fabrics are thin, or if you're using some type of soft substrate and you're putting pressure, so you're pushing it down. If you push your finger into your hand, what happens to your skin? It goes down. I mean, our skin will bounce back to where you don't see. But if you take something like your nail and you go and you poke it, what do you see? There's an impression on my hand. I don't know if you can see it, right? I'm going to do it again. Right? It's weird. Right there. From I dug my nail basically into it. So when you are pressing, you are basically digging the edges of that paper or even that heat tape into that soft substrate. So when you have the thinner paper, it's less, it's thinner. So when it's pressing, it's not going to be as deep of a press. That's a little bit, it's almost like, okay, this is the one time where me biting my nails is going to come in handy. And me having my daddy's ugly fingers and nails is going to come in handy. I wish I could make my husband come in here so you can see his nails because they're longer. So my nails, which are non-existent, are basically like 100 grams GSM. They're non-existent. I'm not going to get a really deep line. I might get something if I really press really hard and I put a lot of pressure, I'll get an indentation. But if that man that I'm married to comes in here with his nice little, they're not super long, but they're not nubs, and he puts his hands in my skin, or Zion Imani, whose nails need to be cut, I'm going to see an indentation. So that's kind of the same thing. Oh, I use weird analogies. I use weird things when I'm trying to describe stuff, but that's basically kind of like what it is. And it's just thinner. Sometimes the thinner paper will also release ink a little bit better than the thicker papers. Because of you heating it up, the thinner paper sometimes will also kind of like, if you're doing, let's say in an oven, the thinner papers can kind of burn sometimes depending on what you're putting over it. And it will burn when you have it in there for a longer period of time. On a shirt, you're pressing it for like 60 seconds, or a soft substrate, or even like some of the harder ones, you're pressing it for 60 seconds. When you are talking about putting it in a mug, like in an oven and things like that, it can burn a little bit faster. So sometimes the thicker ones will work better on a harder substrate. So there is, as far as ink release and transfer, It's about the same. It's just about the substrate that you are using it on. But now the thinner papers can work better for shirts. But here's the thing. As an 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14, it's going to feed through your printer a little bit easier, less likely for jams. When you get the bigger paper, the bigger it is, that lighter weight is now distributed across something that is bigger. So it's going to feel a little bit more lightweight. And then when your printer picks it up and it's spread out, it's really thin. It's more likely going to get caught in those rollers and bunch up. I do find that the thinner papers tend to bunch up a little bit more in the Epson workforce printers, especially if you're going through the tray. If you're going through the rear feed and it's feeding like this, it really doesn't jam up like that because it's kind of coming in straight. But when it's going through and feeding this way, it has 1, 2, like 3 sets of rollers before it reaches. So if it kind of gets caught, it's going to bunch up. I don't find that going through the rear feed that it bunches up, but then you can only do 1 sheet at a time. That's why when you're talking about big roller ones, it's on a roll, it's there, it's just feeding. You're going to get that paper jam on tray fed ones. So with the thinner papers, it can bunch up in there and, it's going to give you a paper jam error. The thicker papers are less likely to jam, but you don't want it to be too thick because A subs 125, because it is so thick with the way that it is, you get more like smudges sometimes with it. So that 120 gram, no matter which paper, is kind of the better option. It's less likely that you're going to get jams because it's enough friction and enough traction to pick it up. The thicker paper, you want to change it to the thick paper setting so that you don't get those smudges. So there is a science to the different sizes. At one point for our paper, I considered going down and I'm like, well, no, the majority of my people use the Epson. So I'm going to kind of find that middle ground. I end up going 120, but I do think that I'm going to kind of see how it goes. But for the next batch, I may go down to 110, but it does take longer to produce. So I have to really think about that if I want to take the longer time, because then that means my next restock may have a bigger gap because I'm thinking about going to the 110, but right now it's 120. So it's not the heavy one, but it's also not super, super light. Yeah, see, that works. So Carolyn says, I use your masking tape trick for the paper and it worked. So if you didn't see that video, what she's talking about is when you have that thinner paper, because of the traction and because of the wheels and things like that, you want to put a strip of masking tape along the top edge so that your wheels have something to grip onto and that it's going to flow through without like kind of getting stuck and bunching up. So glad that is working for you guys. All right. So I'm going to get out of here. It's been almost 2 hours. I know my husband's probably pissed because I told him like an hour and a half because he has to go to Sam's and and now he has to fix lunch. I was supposed to fix lunch today for MJ. His lunch time is between 12:05 and 12:35. I was supposed to fix it. I smell it, which means my husband's fixing it. So he's probably not a happy camper. So I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this Q&A. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you have not hit the like and follow button on Facebook, make sure that you guys do that as you are leaving out. If you haven't hit the thumbs up or the heart video, I see an angry face. Hopefully that one was by mistake. Make sure that you guys hit the like and follow, the like button or the thumbs up. If you're on YouTube, make sure you're smashing that thumbs up button. Share, guys. Let someone know that Shakeya over at Silaholics Anonymous offers that really great, need to know knowledge, and invite them to join me on Wednesdays at 10:15 for our Q&As. All right, guys, I shall talk to you later. Have a great one. Peace.